Hi guys. For lesson 8, we would be reading in school the War Hawks together in a whole group. So I'm going to start off by reading it to you on here, and you could follow along with me in your reader. And then I will go over the worksheets with you. This way you know what you have to do today on them and tell you which one you have to submit. So if you look at your table of contents for the War of 1812, you will see that the War Hawks is chapter 2, and it starts on page 24. So why don't you go ahead and find that while I find it on here, and we will begin reading that together. It's going to take it a little bit for it to load.
Mama, is the other side black? Is the other thing black?
Okay, right here. Hold on one second. Bring it here, Macy. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Quick. What other side? Yes. Yes, good. Okay, sorry. Okay, chapter 2, the War Hawks. At first, President Madison tried to keep America out of the war. He tried to make a deal with the British. He asked them to stop taking American sailors. He asked them to stop trading with Native Americans. But he did not ask Congress to declare war. This made some people happy. There were many people in the United States who did not care to go to war. Most merchants and traders felt this way. They traded with Great Britain as well as other countries. A war would mean less trade between countries. It would mean sunken ships and lost goods. A war would cost them money. For this reason, as well as some others, most merchants opposed, which means was against the war. And here is a picture of merchants in Boston and other eastern cities wanted to avoid the war. This is a busy seaport where the merchants go. But others felt a war was needed. The states out west like Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee were closer to Native American land. The settlers in these states were scared of Native Americans. They were also angry with the British. These people were called war hawks. They made loud, angry speeches. They complained about impressment. They complained that the British were selling guns to Native Americans. They felt the United States needed to declare war. So war hawks were people that were angry and wanted to go to war because they were angry with how they were being treated. Here is a map of the United States. It says, in 1812, the United States was much smaller than it is today. There were far fewer states. Many people who lived in the western states were war hawks who wanted to go to war with the British. So the western states were the ones this way. The eastern ones were along the coast, and that's where many of the merchants were. And they wanted to stay out of a war, while the western ones wanted to declare war. When some war hawks found out that the British were selling guns to Native Americans, it made them angry. These war hawks gave President Madison an earful. They got up in Congress and made angry speeches. They said that the United States should stand up to Great Britain. They said that Madison should ask Congress to declare war. Here is a portrait of a war hawk named Henry Clay, and he's one of the ones that made angry speeches in Congress. So he wanted to go to war. Oh, and that is chapter 2 for today. Kind of short, kind of easy. So that brings us to our worksheets that you will have to do. 8.1 says bubble the sound. Read each word, then fill in the bubble for the sound the underlined letters stand for. Hint, follow your ear, not your eyes. That means you need to say the words, otherwise you won't hear it. So does, in the word farmer, the AR, farmer, make R as in car, or as in for, or as in her? It would be R as in car. So you would bubble this one. Number 2, snorting. R as in car, or as in for, or as in her. It's or as in for. Beggar. Does it R as in car, or as in for, or as in her? Well, if you listen, it's beggar, so it's as in her. That's why you have to say them out loud so you could hear it, because if you just looked at the letters, you would assume it's R as in car, and it was not. Favor, R as in car, or as in fur, or as in her. Favor is again as in her. Okay, so try 5 through 10 and submit it when you are done. This is the worksheet you will submit for today, and I'll see how you do with those sounds. Scrolling down, your other worksheets today is to reread 8.2. You could read this for fluency and for a clearer understanding of what the Warhawks were. And then 8.3 is a fill in the blank. It says use the best word from the box to complete each sentence. So we have dollar, actor, color, history, doctor, polar, calendar, lizard, wizard, and mustard. So again, it's working with that R controlled vowel sound, and you are going to use these words to fill in the blanks. The only worksheet you need to submit today is 8.1.